Why? Why does this fan base have to split hairs on every single thing, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and pull it up for you. So basically, it's this. And I'm agreeing with Owen here, Owen from United View, right? He says exactly what I was saying this morning. Amram has tweaked things while also keeping the system the same. Plus, the MUFC players are delivering, and we have a solid foundation to build from with a new keeper. Several things can be true at once. We don't have to point score every time and police supporting or opinions on players and managers. So basically what he's saying is this whole debate between has the system changed, have the tactics changed, right? So I responded down there, this side right here, right? See what I said, I think people are getting caught up in semantics. System versus tactics. Where does your system end and your tactics begin? I think everyone is more or less saying the same thing. So that was my response to it, because honestly, like, where does it begin? Where does it end, right? Okay, what is your system? What are your tactics? I feel like those are just kind of two sides of the same coin, really, right? Okay, you might play in a 4-4-2 system, and you might set up tactically differently in that system, but then you can say the tactic itself is the 4-4-2, right? So I mean, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense, right? The good thing is that we're playing better and we're winning matches, whether you say the tactics have changed or the system has changed. Doesn't matter. Something has changed, and it's changed for the better, right? It's changed for the better. And this was my whole complaint about Amron before, which is why I was, and I'm still on the fence about it. I'm on the fence about it at this point now. Before, I was firmly Amron out. Now I'm back on the fence because he has changed the system or the tactics, whatever you want to say. He's changed something for the better and it's working, right? And that was my complaint before, is that he hadn't changed anything and was saying he wasn't going to change anything, and we were getting poor results. I think that's a fair reason to be, I'm out on this guy, right? You're out on someone for any reason like that, right? They're getting poor results, they're doing poorly, and they're saying they're not going to change. So of course you're going to naturally be out on them, right? But if they suddenly start making changes and tweaks, whether it's the system or the tactics or whatever they're doing in life, and they start getting better results, start doing better, then you start to turn back around and start to get more positive about them, right? I mean, it's just common sense. It's common sense, but I don't get why people can't get that. I don't get why in this fan base people don't understand that, hey, you can have a valid reason for not supporting the manager, but people say, oh, you don't support the club, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to get that rant off my chest before I actually got into the actual news for today, because honestly, I was going to start the show completely differently, but then I saw that pop up and I had to chime in, right? And again, I'm agreeing with what Owen is saying. This is not a Brian versus Owen thing. I'm agreeing with what he's saying. I just wanted to come on here to my small community here and relay that and say that, because I actually got a message too the other day from someone saying something similar. They were like, oh, United fans waffling, on their support of Amram and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not waffling. I'm not waffling. I've clearly told you in almost every freaking show why I've been Amram out and why now I'm starting to change a bit. It's been the same reason. Nothing's changed. Anyway, what I really wanted to start with before that happened was Marcus Rashford. So I was right about Marcus Rashford, and he's finally come out and said it. Marcus Rashford said, it was so many years in one place. People forget this, but 24 years, 23 years of my life was with Manchester United. So sometimes you just need a change. I think maybe this is the case with me, and yeah, I'm enjoying everything. That's what I said. I said that months ago. I said, I think Rashford's problem is that he's been in Manchester too long. I have to find a video where I talked about it and said it, but I said, I think his problem is that he's been in Manchester too long. I mean, okay, sure, right? Sure. I will agree with something that Brian Robson said, and I'll get to that later. But I think part of the problem, again, he was in Manchester too long. I mean, think about it. Why do you move? Why did you move? Right? Why did you move? Honestly, let's make that a fun comment. Comment in the section below, not even football related. Why did you move from wherever you were for 10, 15 years or however long you were there? Why did you move? Right? Because think about it. These players are human beings. Just because they're all on the TV and they seem larger than life, they're still human beings, right? And sometimes when you're in one place for too long, you start to get complacent, you start to get bored, you start to scratch your head and wonder what's on the other side of that fence, what's over the horizon, right? You do it, I do it, we all do it. Marcus Rashford did it, right? And now he's enjoying life in Spain, right? He went over the horizon. Again, I think he got bored in Manchester and got complacent. He was around too many familiar faces, too many familiar places, right? I mean, think about it too. If you were in his shoes, think about if you were your hometown hero, born and raised there. You know everybody, everyone knows you. You become, a star on the biggest team in your hometown, right? Um, at some point, you probably get bored. You're like, life's too easy almost, in a way. Um, so anyway, Brian Robson left the door open for Rashford to return. Robson said, Marcus Rashford's attitude needs to change. Sorry, I silenced my phone over here. Marcus Rashford's attitude needs to change, right? If he's to come back to Manchester United. Robson also hinted at La Liga and, being a bit easier, saying that Barcelona and Real Madrid are always dominant, right? So I agree with that, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. With that, I agree in that. Okay, yeah, La Liga is, in my opinion, a little bit easier because you've got a couple dominant sides. If you're playing for one of them, you've already got that confidence and backing. Whereas in the Premier League, you never know how the season's going to go. I mean, look at our current top four, right? Our current top four is I thought I had it pulled up, but I lost it. I think it was Arsenal. It's Arsenal, Bournemouth, Spurs, and Sunderland. I'm going to read that to you again. Arsenal, number one, Bournemouth, number two, Spurs, number three, Sunderland, number four. That's our top four. So only one of the traditional big four, big six, whatever you want to call it these days, is in the top four, right? Then you've got City in fifth, and then you got Manchester United in sixth, right? Liverpool seventh, Chelsea down in ninth, right? So again, the Premier League is unpredictable. You got to fight every single game. And I think some players maybe just can't hack that. That's why you see players come over and fail and flop all the time. Um, to arrange my screens here momentarily. So yeah, so I agree with what Robson said also though, in that, the La Liga is probably a little bit easier. It's easier to play with confidence when you know you're probably going to be in and amongst it no matter what happens, right? So you might as well go out there and play well. Whereas at Manchester United or any Premier League team, you have a bad game, suddenly you're way down the leaderboard, right? The standings. So that's my thought on Rashford. But I mean, question for you, right? Would you take him back? Would you take Marcus Rashford back at Manchester United? Let's say he does well at Barcelona. He seems to have rediscovered that sparkling twinkle-toed Marcus Rashford that we all knew and loved. And Barcelona can't exercise the option to buy him because they can't afford him, right? So would you take Marcus Rashford back? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I like Marcus Rashford. He's one of my favorite players. Um, you all kind of root for the hometown kid, right? And yeah, like I'd love to see him back at Manchester United. I'd love for it to be a redemption story where he was great, then things kind of fell down. He went away, found himself, came back, and sparkled for us in some of our best years. I'd love for that to be the story, but I don't know if that is going to be the story with Marcus Rashford. Because I watched him play a few times, for Barcelona, and he's been good, but to me, again, the competition hasn't been that stiff, if I'm being honest, right? Because in this Real Madrid match, the El Clasico that I did on the same channel here, he wasn't great. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either, right? He didn't really stand out too much. Neither did Lamine Yamal, right? So what is that saying? Like, would Lamine Yamal come to the Premier League and flop? Would he not do well? I mean, that would be a big statement, right? So yeah, question for you. Again, get in the comments. Let me know. Would you take Marcus Rashford back at Manchester United if he has a really good season at Barcelona? Or would you say, thank you, Marcus, but we're going to find you another club? Let me know what you would do. Speaking of taking people back, I got another one for you. Danny Welbeck. Would you take back Danny Welbeck? That to me is a more serious question. Yes, he's what, 33, 34, so it wouldn't be a long-term contract by any means. But he's got 10 goals and 4 assists in 30 appearances last season. That's pretty good. I mean, he was involved in a goal or an assist in half of his appearances, and it was 30. So it wasn't like he missed, a ton of this season. What's that, 8 games or so? And this season he's got 5 goals in 9 matches. I think that's not being talked about enough. He's got 5 goals in 9 matches this season. The guy's coming out the gate cooking right now, right? I mean, would you take him back and have him be a bit of a mentor to Sheshko? You know, um, again, maybe that would be cool to see, right? You bring him back, right? The wages are fair, but they're not exorbitant, right? Fair enough wages. He understands he's going to be kind of an elder statesman of the team. He understands that he's not going to be the main guy. He's going to, come off the bench and get minutes, 30 minutes, or so, which is not bad, right? 34 years old, 30 minutes per match. That allows you to kind of prolong your career, honestly. You're not running into the ground every single match. And maybe sometimes he does start. Not a bad call. Not a bad call. Um, Let me know what you think about that one too. I know I've got giving you guys a lot of homework, right? There's the homework about the you know, moving and whatnot. There's the homework about taking Rashford back, and there's the homework about taking Danny Welbeck back. Would you? I know people say don't look back at the past, but sometimes you look back for answers, right? Maybe Danny Welbeck could be a temporary answer for us. Because again, it isn't like we have to suddenly give him a 10-year contract. It's just, hey, Danny, come back, do a job for us from the club that you love, and then sail off to the sunset, right? Retire from Manchester United, right? End your football career kind of where it started, um, and have a great story. That would be a wonderful story, right? So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Jumping to the academy and youth, so jumping from the elder statesman to the young kids, Cheeto is continuing to impress. He's getting on the score sheet. I think he got on the score sheet against Rockdale. So doing well, 17 years old, U21s. Again, I don't think he needs to come up and lead the line if Sheshko gets hurt. That's why I think Xerxes should stay, but I'm trying to avoid the Xerxes mainly talk too much in this show because it's just everywhere right now. All the will he, won't he, will he, won't he. Jaden Ngwashi, he's training with the first team. He is a center back, 17 years old, 6'2". He's been moving up the ranks pretty quickly, so he might be someone who comes through the ranks. I mean, again, Aiden Heaven's 19, so he's only a couple years ahead of him. So might see the name Jaden Ngwashi a bit more. James Overy, he's been part of the senior squad on several occasions. He's 17 years old. I think he's also a center back. I'm not sure what his role is. Let me look that up actually. James Overy. James Overy. What is his position? Oh, he's Australian. Oh, that's cool. He is. Why does it not say his position anywhere? Does he just play everywhere? James Overy. If you know, let me know in the chat because I'm not seeing his. Oh, right back. Okay. He's a right back. That's what it's saying. Or they just say defender in general. Defender, right? So yeah, another young and up and coming player. And then one who is not ours, but we're keeping tabs on apparently, is Jeremy Munga. He's at Leicester City in the championship. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 11 matches. 16 years old. Can you imagine? Like, what were you doing at 16 years old? Certainly not playing for Leicester City in the championship, a physical league, right? A physical league, mind you, at 16 years old, and getting on the score sheet and getting an assist in 11 matches, and even playing 11 matches, right? I'd do good just to be able to carry the water bottles at 16 years old for a professional team, let alone get on the pitch and score and get an assist and even play in 11 matches. So might be one to watch. Jeremy Munga, Leicester City. Now, speaking of kind of transfers and things like that, so Conor Gallagher is back up. It's his turn this week, right? So it's like Angelo Stiller, Adam Wharton, uh, Elliot Anderson. Okay, now back to Conor Gallagher, and it's just like round and round and round. So, you know, Conor Gallagher's name is up this week. Again, he's the guy I've been saying since the window shut this summer that I think he's going to come in January. I've been saying that. You can look at my videos, clip it up, whatever. I've been saying the whole time. I think Conor Gallagher comes to Manchester United in January. One reason being that he's safe, right? He's kind of a safe player, a safe pick. When he was with Chelsea, 37 matches, 5 goals, 8 assists. What were his stats when he was with Palace? I'm trying to find his Palace stats. Conor Gallagher, Crystal Palace stats. I know he was on loan, but that's not. It's showing Chelsea, but I'm trying to see his stats when he was at Crystal Palace, or was that the 8 goals, 5 assists, something like that? I can't remember now. Anyway, as you see, I do some stuff on the fly just because I'm whatever. But yeah, I think he's a safe target. Right, you watched him play at Palace. You watched him play when he came back to Chelsea. Didn't quite work out. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, but I think he's a safe pick. He's done it in the Premier League. He's done well in the Premier League, right? He wasn't a flop. He did well enough. He wanted to go play for a bigger club. He went back to Chelsea, didn't quite work out. Atletico, Madrid, big club in Spain, right? Big club in general with Simeone. Um, and he's playing, right? He's doing well enough there, but I still think it's probably not big enough to where he wants to be. So I think Manchester United is the perfect answer. I feel like they need each other. They want each other, Manchester United and Conor Gallagher. So that's why he's my pick, right? He's done well, Premier League proven. He's still on the younger side. England international, right? Come back home to your home country, do it in front of your home international fans, um, closer to the England squad, right? So I think it all just kind of makes sense and adds up, right? And he won't be 100 million pounds either. He'll be probably 75, 70, 75 million. That's what I think. I know you might say, oh, Brian, that's crazy for Conor Gallagher, but we know how prices are inflated these days. So he would be less than Wharton or Anderson. I mean, I say Baleba at this point because he had that stinker. I think his price has just been chopped to a quarter. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Conor Gallagher and that whole situation, which hasn't really changed. I've been saying it the whole time. I think he comes in January. Morten Hjulman, who I mentioned last show, Sporting, he worked with Amram. Was he 26 years old? I'll go to my little cheat sheet here. My transfer cheat sheet, which is loading extremely slowly. Let's try it again. Here we go. Morten Hjulman, 26, yeah, center mid, 50 million pounds was the last price I saw quoted for his services. 8 matches, 1 goal. Yeah, a little bit more experience there. A year more experience than Conor Gallagher because Gallagher's 25. And yeah, I mean, Amram worked with him before, and I think that there might be a leaning towards him because now people are trusting Amram. I think the board's trusting Amram a bit more, and they're saying, okay, your signings of Cunha and Mbumo and Sheshko are working out. Even Lemin's working out. So why not go with your guy again, who you think might do the business for us? So that's why I think Morten Hjulman's probably a stronger contender than we're giving him credit for. I don't know about January, but maybe next summer. But one thing is clear is that we definitely need midfield reinforcement, right? I don't think anyone's disputing that or getting into any semantics arguments about that, right? Pretty clear. Sorry, I'm still hot from how I started the show. Whew. Anyway, the next match for the guys is November 1st against Forest. As always, I'll do the match preview, match watch along, or match watch. I'm trying to coin match watch, right? Everyone says watch along. I'm trying to coin match watch. And of course, post-match discussion. And the women are also back in action finally, right? Finally. These international breaks, man, is killing me right now. So ladies are back against Brighton on the 2nd. And of course, same thing. I'll do a pre-match, a match preview, match watch, post-match discussion. Hopefully Jess Park has recovered from her concussion. Donham, not sure about her back. And obviously Turner is out with a knee. When I do my match preview for that match for the women, I'll go through and see if there's any injuries that we need to worry about in the short term, right, for that match. Because again, the ladies are coming back off international break. And with international break, there's always, that risk of your player coming back with a knock or an injury or something like that. So anyway, like I said, men's match on the 1st, Forest, women's on the 2nd. So it'll be a good weekend of football. And yeah, like I said, match previews, match watches, post-match discussion. I'm going to be a busy boy this weekend, but I think you will be too. And yeah, on your way out, if you don't mind, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please, like I said, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about anything that I've said. This is an open community for conversation. This is not one of those toxic communities where I tell you you're wrong for your opinion. Doesn't happen here, right? We'll discuss, we'll debate, but keep it friendly, right? There's enough negativity and crap going on in the world. Let's try and be civilized in here. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.